Hello, in this lecture presented by www.free-academy.com, we're going to practice combining functions by doing a modified problem out of the textbook 45, problem 45. And the problem gives us f of x equals x squared plus 1, g of x equals x to the negative 1, and h of x equals x to the third. The textbook asks us to find f of g of h of x, but we're going to do and find all 6 combinations, including f of h of g of x, g of f of h of x, and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to move quickly through all this because I've done lots of reviews on how to combine functions so far. So if you're not familiar with that, you're still uneasy with that, go check out, and you hadn't seen some of the previous videos, go do that. Otherwise, submit some questions to our website. But either way, it's going to be the exact same process. When we find f of g of h of x, what we'll do is we'll find g of h of x, which is exactly the same as finding f of g of x and vice versa. And then what we'll do is we'll plug that into f of x, and then we get our answer. So it's a very straightforward thing. It's just one more step than what we're used to doing. So let's dive right in. Let's do f of g of h of x. Step 1, find g of h of x, which is equal to g of x with h of x replacing x. H of x is equal to x to the third. So this is putting x to the third into x in the g of x equation. This is equal to x to the negative third. Step 2, we're going to find f of g of x, which is f of x to the negative third. So we just put x to the negative third in wherever we get x in the f of x equation. There's f of x, and let's put g of h of x in. And what we all get is x to the negative 6 plus 1. So I'm going to keep a little box right up here with our different answers because I'm going to have to erase to make room. Now this isn't the only problem that uses g of, never mind, it is. Okay, ignore that. Let's go on and let's find f of h of g of x. So we start first by finding h of g, which is write the equation for h of x, which is x to the third, and put g of x in for that. And once again we get x to the negative third. That's a matter of coincidence. It doesn't always happen out that way, as I'm sure you've seen in previous lectures. 2, we find f of x to the negative third, which we actually did in the f of g of x. So we'll just skip that step there because we already have the answer. It's x to the negative 6 plus 1. Let me change my color here really quick, and we'll find g of f of h of x. Step 1, find f of h of x. So we write out the equation for f of x, and we put h of x into our parentheses. And this will all give us x to the 6th plus 1. And now when we find our g of f of h of x, it's the same as finding g of x to the 6th plus 1, which is equal to 1 over x to the 6th plus 1. So g of f of h of x equals 1 over x to the 6th plus 1. Go on to the next part, and we'll find g of h of f of x. H of f of x is the same as h of x squared plus 1, which is equal to x squared plus 1 raised to the third. H of x, x to the third. So h of parentheses equals parentheses to the third. Put the x to the third in, and you guys are all familiar with that at this point. So to find g of h of f of x is the same as finding g of x squared plus 1 raised to the third power, which is the same as 1 over x squared plus 1 to the third power. So g of h of f of x is equal to x squared plus 1 to the negative third power. And we're 2/3 through the problem already. Let us now find h of g of f of x. Our g of our f of x is going to be equal to 1 over x, with x being equal to f of x, x squared plus 1. X squared plus 1 to the negative 1 power. To find h of x, squared plus 1 to the negative 1. H of x is x to the third, so we write our parentheses to the third, and we put our value in. We get x squared minus 1 to the negative 1 raised to the third power. So h of g of f of x is equal to x squared minus 1 to the negative third power. Sorry, these are plus 1s. That was my mistake. X squared plus 1 to the negative third power. In the last part of this problem, we're going to find h of f of g of x. Start off by finding f of g of x, which is equal to x squared plus 1, with x being equal to 1 over x. So this is all equal to x to the negative 2 plus 1. And our h of x is all of that raised to the third power. And there we have a table of all the 6 different possibilities that could come out of having f and g and h, all the 6 different ways to combine them. We'll do one more problem like this, and from that point on, just any questions you submit to us we'll put up onto the website, because we should have plenty enough practice on it at this point.